Welcome to Wrestling Talk. Today we're doing something that I do annually, which is my things I think WWE should change and what I want to see approved upon by Triple H. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is, as you know, people are very disappointed from what I could tell from at least from the standpoint I'm not a big guy on all this stuff, but from what I could hear, most people are disappointed that the tag team titles in the United States Championship cannot be defended at pay-per-views. That's kind of difficult when you're limited to 5 to 4 matches at a show, because you can only do 3-hour shows because you're on Peacock. You don't realize you have to decide what titles you want on the line. You only have 3 hours to do matches, and if you have 8 matches, you're gonna have to make one of those things like 5 minutes. I feel like Peacock should stop being greedy. You have enough to hire people to do the other shows. Be generous with the time. But okay, that's one of my biggest problems. Not that there's 3-hour shows, but the quality of those 3 hours are sometimes questionable. There are some matches that are really good, and there are some matches that just are below average. There's no middle ground. There's no middle ground whatsoever. You either have a real bad match or a real good one, A real average match or a real bad one or a real good one. It's nowhere in between. Really bad, average, or really good. The next problem is that instead of giving the women's division, time, WWE is kind of going into that phase of, because they have no women's mid-card title, if you have nothing to do and they don't want you to be a main event star, you get the Women Tag Team Championship. You're like, that's your constellation prize. We don't want you to be a main eventer. You can have a Tag Team Championship. And most of the teams are just thrown together. Like, they have no real chemistry or anything yet. It's like, come on to the other side. Just forget about that. Just talk to the women's mid-card titles is a big thing that NXT did. I don't care if it's a big flop, bring it to the main roster. I don't care if it fails. Just so far it's a successful adventure. The next thing I think they should do is hold, at least that could improve upon the already busy schedule, is have at least 2 pay-per-views a month. Like, one in the first week and one at the later half. Not because I think there needs to be more pay-per-views, but just because you can end feuds quicker. And you could have, let's say if you want to build something up to SummerSlam, you could have the match right before SummerSlam, end it in a draw. So then when you get to SummerSlam, you get to see a definitive ending. And I'm not saying that's always going to be the case, but I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just saying that October doesn't have pay-per-view. You get lucky if you get just the Royal Rumble in January next year. The next thing I want to say is that one match I was completely right about. One thing I was completely right about. You want me to tell you what? I'm not ashamed to say it. I have been enjoying Monday Night Raw and SmackDown more than I have in years. I started watching it when Vince ran it because it was awful. The match quality. Before some matches would get 10 minutes, and it's more storyline driven now. Even if it doesn't make sense all the time, I feel like it's something they already approved on. Is just letting stuff be, you know? If you know, you know. But that, in my personal opinion, puts WWE against the rest. The next thing that I think could be a very big change is going to, a Fox running WWE shows. The reason why they centered the whole screen was one middle finger. We were watching SmackDown on the screen. It was one people in the whole entire crowd that got the whole Fox. Don't you have don't they have? I'm trying to think what shows they have, but don't they have a lot worse than that on their programming? And they're complaining about a middle finger. Okay, that's a bit outrageous, but it is what it is. And then they censor every little swear word. Okay, I know you're going for a PG rating, but listen here. If you haven't heard at least one swear word by the time you are 5 years old, you either must live in the most perfect neighborhood with the most perfect family ever who hasn't said one curse word in front of you ever. Everyone slips up. So by the time of at least 5, you have heard at least some tame bad words. It's not like... And when you get older, it's just... When you get 7, 12, you hear a lot worse. Especially public... If you went to public schools, it's... I'm telling you, in public school, you're gonna hear worse than what's said on there. You're gonna hear a lot worse. So get prepared. Goodbye. That's all I have to say. Goodbye.